Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my Biafran people, now how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazenamdi Kano. May God bless, 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 may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency, ESN, Ekpa, Simon and Jaku, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you because we know in your hands, Biafra is coming. In your hands, Biafra is safe. And in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. When I say the people, I mean the men, the women, the children, the old, the young, the sick, the poor, the meek, the gentle, the civilized and uncivilized, those born in Biafra and those born around the bites of Biafra. We shall come together under one voice, under one accord, and scream out for revolution and liberation. Lord have mercy. Today, my people, I want to bring to your notice, because sometimes the zoo, they pretend like they don't know what is happening. As it was good for the people of Chagos Island, it will be, so shall it be for the people of Biafra. I want to bring to your notice that our great lobbyist, oh my God, the great Jim Moran and the great Elias Gerasoulis, they promised us, they spoke to our Prime Minister and the cabinet, and they promised that just as America was able to pressurize Britain to hands off Chagos Island to Mauritius, that same way will Biafra regain her freedom. Britain will be pressured. We are doing the right thing, we are on the right steps, and Britain will be pressured. Today I will bring a message, a tweet from our great lobbyist, somebody I love so much, somebody I appreciate, I admire for the wonderful job he's doing for the people of Biafra. A Biafran by nature. I mean Mr. Elias Gerasoulis. I will bring what he said on tweet. I will show you what the Zoom media are saying. And I will also give a masterclass presentation showing you a historical background of the people from Chagos, the Chagos Island. I may have to link up a bit of Biafran in them. I may have to do that, probably. But let's see how my presentation will take me. At this point, before we play what BBC are talking about, the stuff, the zoo government, I want us to listen to the tweet of Elias Gerasoulis, where he said, and I quote, "The United States has played a key role in pressurizing the British to cede its claim over the Chagos Island in Mauritius, in exchange for securing a key U.S. military base in Mauritius. The U.S. is willing to force the hand of British in proper terms are offered. The U.S. can play same role vis-a-vis squeezing British in support of Biafran independence. This will come and much sooner than you think." I love the last statement where he said, "This will come and much sooner than you think." At this point, my people, you've heard from our lobbyist team, people who have even gone the extra mile. They are doing the role more than the lobbyists. We now have a shoulder to lean on in America. I see them as our brothers because they are playing, in fact, they have gone beyond their scope because they love us. They have seen that what we are asking for is genuine. They have seen that the contract we have with Nigeria, the amalgamation, expired in 2014. And right now, the zoo government, they are on borrowed time. Elias Gerasoulis and a man I call the Maverick, the great Jim Moran, a man that when he speaks, the Congress, they listen. When he speaks to the White House, they open their doors and listen. When he speak all the different departments in America, they know who he is. He's been in Congress for so many years. More than 25 years. He's a maverick. Somebody that has the ears of those in Congress. My Prime Minister, Ekpa Simon Njoku, I thank you for going the extra mile to get the very best among the best. We thank you because with the lobby team, we have been able to go so far. They have helped to push this movement to a very far distance. My people, without any much further ado, let us start with the video of what the BBC is talking about in Britain. You know, Britain, they are very, very smart. They know how to, paint a picture to make it look like they came with clean hands. But without any much further ado, let us listen to what the British broadcast company, I believe that's its name, BBC, are talking about this great, movement, whereby the people of Chagos Island, they are regaining back their land. If you are ready, let's go there. Listen.
The UK government has announced it is to return the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. Mauritius has claimed sovereignty over the islands in the Indian Ocean, which are around 500 kilometres south of the Maldives, since independence in 1968. The UK evicted its population of more than 1,000 people to make way for a US military base. The dispute continued at the United Nations and in international courts for many years. Well, with me is our correspondent, Andrew Harding, one of the few people who've been to the Chagos Islands. This is a long-running story. Take us through this momentous decision today.
It's an extraordinary story, as you say. It's been in the courts for a long time. It's one of those disputes that has sort of rumbled on in the background. Most people listening to this, watching this, will never have heard of the Chagos Islands, but they might have heard of Diego Garcia. And that's the island, the American military base, that is really at the heart of the dispute and at the heart of this breakthrough today. And that's how both the Mauritian government and the British government are framing this. It's about security, long-term, in the Indian Ocean. So basically, in 1968, back when Mauritius won its independence, it didn't get full independence because Britain kept back the Chagos archipelago from Mauritius. It had already promised in a secret deal to give the Diego Garcia atoll to the Americans for a military base. And since then, in the background, the Mauritians have been campaigning to get those islands back, to have full sovereignty, full independence, if you like. And the UN has already taken that very seriously. In recent years, though, as Britain has, for instance, embarked on Brexit, it's begun to lose international support. The African continent as a whole has really come together as well to campaign on this issue of anti-colonialism, to say Britain must end its last occupation of this last piece of its old empire in Africa. And that has, I think, galvanized a lot of international support. And finally, today, we have what both sides agree really is a historic moment. They've signed a deal. They still need to sign a treaty, but they basically done a deal on all the details. And if they put it in this very short announcement today, key is the fate of Diego Garcia, which the Americans will continue to operate from now for the next 99 years, whereas the British lease that they'd granted the Americans was running out in the next decade. Key also is the fate of the Chagosians, those 1,000 people you mentioned who'd been forcibly deported from the islands back in the 60s and 70s. They will also now have the right to return there for the first time, and the Mauritian government will look into that and the viability of them living there. And thirdly and finally, I think this is fundamentally about this issue of international law. And Britain could sense that it was losing the room, it was losing support at the UN, at these international bodies. And so, under some pressure, it has come to this extraordinary moment.
Hold it there. Under some pressure, Britain has come to this momentary moment. Under some pressure. Last time I told you, Mr. Elias Gerasoulis said, America can still put the pressure on Britain to let go Biafra. Because the contract that we had with Britain has already expired. The amalgamation nonsense they did, where they brought 3 different core nations and made them one, something that from its inception, it has never worked. to Britain, what you did that you called Nigeria, it's like bringing Russia, France, Germany together and make them one country and secretly tell the Russians they were born to rule. That was exactly what you did in that thing you called Nigeria. Since the inception, there have been hatred among the tribes, among the nations, that you forced into one. There has been no love for my people, the Biafrans. And we are saying we are done with it. We want out because the contract is done. I will fall back. Let's continue with this broadcast. Then I'll take you down to the people of Chagos Island. They also have their own freedom fighter. The same way we have Nnamdi Kanu, the same way we have our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. The people of Chagos Island also have someone who is speaking on their behalf. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
Sorti l'autre côté là-bas, sorti l'autre côté là-bas, dans l'archipel Chagos. Nous partenons l'identité, nous partenons nationalité, un petit peuple déraciné qui fait vivre dans la pauvreté. Filer pour nous lever, pour faire à nous la voix, pour montrer toutes nos souffrances, partout dans le monde entier. Filer pour nous lever.
La vie qui m'a fait raconter mon petit moti dans l'île là. Mais mon apparemment, moi avec mon canis, moi puis la piste. Moi mène mon cari. Moi peine un traca pour dire, moi pas de faire. Moi peux bien manger. Mais ici,
First of all, not only conspiracy of silence, but there were damn lies. The international community was taken for a right from the start.
Simply by quiet diplomacy, paying off potential objectors and keeping a tight upper lip and being prepared to tell a whopping great untruth about the nature of the population. The whole thing was kept out of the public gaze.
They have their own freedom fighter. This gentleman you're seeing has done a great job, a marvelous job for the people of Chagos. Today we have Simon Ekpa piloting the affairs. We have our Prime Minister piloting the affairs for the Biafrans. This young man as well in Chagos Island has been the mouthpiece for the people. He has been the one, the figurehead, making sure that the cries of the people was listened to. And today, that freedom has come. Listen to a bit of what he said, then I'll continue. Listen.
Court wants the world to know what happened to the Chagosian people. He has become the Chagos Islanders' greatest champion, and he's leading them in a David and Goliath struggle against the biggest powers in the Western world.
And my aim is to alert public opinion, to alert worldwide opinions about all the suffering of our people who have been uprooted from our motherland and to come and live in exile. We can say that we have been dumped in the slum of poverty without taking care of us. What we want to be able to return back to our native land and to have a wonderful life like other people.